Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the LOTRO Twitch channel. I am your host, Little Redhead, and I'll be taking you around parts of Middle Earth today here, not on the Treebeard server, but on the legendary Mordor server. So let me make that adjustment up on the words up there. There we go, Mordor server. So, what are we doing today? Well, I am going to take us around through parts of, hey, Loshire Hobbit. Hi from one Hobbit streamer to another. Hello and welcome. I didn't know you were streaming. Did I know you were streaming? It's possible I didn't know that. Well, congratulations on streaming. Yay. So I am, well, hello. Oh, just started last week. Oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny because people are like, how do you get into streaming? I'm like, I don't know. I sit in front of a computer and I talk to a camera while I do what I normally do. Um, that's how I get into stream. That's how I got into streaming. So, hi, Epic Games. Good morning from the other side. I tell you what, I took a nap this afternoon, and I am not. I would still be sleeping if my alarm hadn't gone off and woken me up. So, talk about the other side. Megan says, "Morning, your hair looks great today." Well, thank you. My hair has a mind of its own, and I'm just trying to go along with it. So, well, thank you. Yeah, I know it's so weird because it's like doing its own thing, and I was just like, oh my god, it looks terrible. But you're the second person who's told me it looks good today, so apparently I see it differently, and I'm okay with this. I'm totally okay with this. Epic Games TV points out that it is 8:35 a.m. where they are, and hence the other side of the world. That's true. We are in Europe. In fact, I've just put a curtain in front of the window because, contrary to the rest of our recent fall days, it has gotten a little bit sunny today. So I have adjusted. Hi, Casper's acting funny behind me. So yeah, we're getting some sunshine blaring in today. We're supposed to get up to like 20, possibly 24 degrees tomorrow. That's like summer weather. That's like 70s or 80s or, it's not, if I forget the conversion. I know before will tell me in a minute, but. Oh, Megan says, I've been watching your old Hobbit Harvest Festival videos to learn how to do the Haunted Hobbit hole. Awesome. Well, I thought I would do something very similar today. Oh, and by the way, hello to the other folks. Let's see, checking my loots. Hello, good afternoon. Did I miss anybody else? Okay, I hope not. So, yeah. Oh, Epic Games TV, great question. When does the LOTRO Extra Life start this year? Technically it's already started because it runs year round nowadays. So I guess I could actually be fundraising now. Okay, I'll try and remember to get it up by next week because that is a fantastic question. So Extra Life, just as a quick FAQ here, Extra Life is an external thing. It's not LOTRO related. It's not SSG. It's an organization that started with basically people playing games, video games, to raise money for children's hospitals, the Children's Hospital Network in North America. And it's become a huge thing. And so now lots of people participate. And SSG, who runs LOTRO and DDO, they participate in the sense of you can create a team and you go to the Extra Life website and you're like, hey, I'm going to make a team, and people sign up to be on your team, and then those people raise money, and it all goes to it all goes directly to Extra Life. So Extra Life, the organization, has a yearly game day, and that is, I believe, Friday, October 1st. So, which is coming up very soon, as today is already Tuesday, October 15th. So yeah, we had a conversation about this recently, and it hasn't been settled on yet. So, yeah, Lashai Herbert points out that Cord said maybe November. Well, I mean, technically it would be November because November 1st, but because he's away right now, and which makes coordinating a little more complicated. So we definitely will be doing it. Let's put it that way. We're definitely going to be participating. I know there's a handful of us that are already like, I'm on board. Let's get this party rolling. I completely forgot though that I need to put the little widgets and whatnot's going on here. So what I'll try to remember to do it next week, before next week, and I'll have the widgets up, which is basically information on my screen, which will say how much I'm trying to raise. Which last year I chose the number $750, and people donated enough to help me get to that goal, which was pretty amazing. So I will probably stick with that goal. It seems like a good number. So I'll probably do that. And, yeah. And then, so the fun thing for you guys as people watching who may then also choose to donate is that there will be what Cordova calls the community loot list. And you can pick things off of that loot list as benefits. So for example, let's see. In the world of pets, things that I have, this spirit bear is something that you can often find on the community loot list. And so that's something that I chose one year, and I got a code, I put it in, and it's account wide. So every one of my characters now has this cosmetic pet. I think the little tundra cub was also off of the community loot list, that little guy there. We also do giveaways on the day that we all stream. Like, we just stream for like 12 hours straight, just one after the other. And that might be Friday the 1st. It might be later. We don't know yet. I'm not sure yet. But sometimes we do giveaways during that time. We always do giveaways, not sometimes, always. And sometimes they're cosmetic pets, sometimes they're titles, sometimes it'll be for LOTRO points, which is awesome. And so the lively slug, this little guy here, came out of, is one of the things you can win sometimes in the giveaways. I'm trying to think of what else do I have from that. So I think that's all the ones I currently have. And then also you can get some mounts sometimes also as giveaways or off of the community loot list. So yeah, so it's really cool because when you donate, you've got like things you can choose from. Oh, there was some housing items, there's a couple of cats, I believe, that might be on the housing items too. Some of the things were only one character. There was a cosmetic pet, might have been one of the corgis, and that was a one-time code. It wasn't account-wide. So sometimes that also happens. But anyway, so that's kind of a quick primer, hopefully answering the majority of the questions that somebody might have about what is Extra Life. Do we participate as, from an SSG perspective, SSG participates, and then people like us can volunteer and just be like, yes, I want to be on the team too. So the team page does exist. If you go to Extra Life and look for Standing Stone Games, the team page does exist already. And what I do is when somebody donates during my stream, I'll have my character do a backflip as a thank you. So, yeah. Let's see. Lady Phalamar just dropping in to show some support. Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. I hope everything's going all right. Oh yeah, so before I was pointing out the Celsius to Fahrenheit heuristic. So currently it's 14 degrees outside, not bad. So it's 58 Fahrenheit. I think we're going to get up then to what? So double plus 30. Yeah, that's like the normal thing. So if it's 20, so double that to 40 plus 30 is 70. So it'll be like 70s, in the 70s later on this week. Crazy cakes. Oh yeah. Epic Games is pointing out some of the other things that you can get. Sleeping Cat, Celebration Corgi, Horses Titles. Yeah, Megan's oohing over the Ghost Bear. He's such a cutie. Before stream, who is on after me in like 2 hours, what's he gonna do? He's leaning towards picking back up on doing some Titan Bar patch stuff, but could be persuaded to do more birding plugin stuff. Yeah, and Epic Games is pointing out some of the things from the community loot list from last year, and before has included a link to last year's Extra Life information that was on the LOTRO forum. Oh, sorry, LOTRO.com page, which is a news page. And I just saw a cat in the background. Let's see. I think he's got all wild hair. He just like, I saw him like zoom up onto the couch and he's over there licking it up. So, and then on that page, I think is the link to the SSG team. And so you can see who's on the team. And if you want to participate as a person raising money, you can also join the team. It is an open team, as it were. So, okay, so actually I think we're going to go ahead and put the spirit bear away. So we'll go ahead and say goodbye to him. But that was great. He's such a cutie, isn't he? I have fun running around with him sometimes. But we're going to, so I'm on here with my little girl Adamantia. So here on the Mordor server, I have 5 characters. 5, yes, I think that's right. One of them is already at the 50 cap. And one of them, a different one, is my main on the server. And then I have 3 other characters. So I thought I'd choose one of my other 3 characters because I have not yet, for 2 reasons. One, all of my characters, save one here on Mordor, I have not begun to do the Harvest Festival at all. And so thought I would start fresh, from the beginning with a character so you guys can all see that and follow along. And if there's any questions you have, we can do that live here in the chat together. And then also, festivals are a great way to level a character. You get the experience that you get is on level, and it's often non-combat stuff, the quests. So it's a great way to level a character without, getting into too much danger. So I like that too. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up some goodies here out of these boxes, because those are universal ingredient crates. And so they give me, let me mount up, universal ingredient packs, which you can use when you're crafting. It's really handy if you're like, oh man, I just want to make a sword for this character and I don't want to spend the goods or whatever. You can do that. The other housekeeping thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here and talk to Wenda, because I'm a VIP and I want to get my Wenda goodies. So let's get a little bit of that going on, because Wenda then gives me some stuff I can carry around in my pocket, like access to the shop so I can sell things while I'm running around if I want to. Like that green apple. I think I'm done with the green apple. That was from the farmer's market. Oh, I don't know if I want to sell those, though. Well, I'll sell the map to Hobnanigans. Yeah, that's fine. This character's not a hunter. She's a minstrel, so she can't just, like, bip herself around like I can with my other characters. Well, with my hunters, but that's okay. And she's level 15, so we got a ways to go anyway for her to do stuff. Oh, hey, let's talk to the town crier real quick. I'm always curious during festivals. Haha, where to find the festival. So normally the town criers tell you about Lalia's market, and they're like, hey, there's a new merchant in Freetown. But then during a festival, or during an event, I should say, they often will have these other things like where to find the festival. Hey, here's some information. Harvest Festival announcement. The Harvest Map Festival is here. And then in League and Ale Association. So that's fun. So if you ever like want just a little bit of a, I don't know, update on what's going on, you can do that. Now, when you first log in with a new character, and I mentioned this in the video that that Megan was mentioning earlier, when you first log in, you're going to get one of these pop-up quests. And so I have most of my characters set to automatically accept auto-bestowed quests. But this one, I think you have to accept when you're in, perhaps. Let me see. So let me go ahead and grab this. Yeah, so it wants me, so I've already accepted the quest, now I just need to finish it. It says, the Fall Festival is in full swing. Join the hobbits in the Shire to begin your festivities. Completing this quest will grant you a map to the party tree where you can join the festival. So that's really handy. So it's going to give me a Fall Festival token, which is the currency of this event. It's going to give me a guide to the Harvest Math Festival. So if you need more information, there's more information there. And a map to the party tree to get me right over to where things are happening. And it's a quest. So I just got some experience out of that, which is kind of funny. So now in my inventory, I have a map to the party tree. There it is. I've got a lot of stuff in my inventory. I should probably tidy this up a little bit at some point. I also often, with my characters, we'll set a milestone to the Hobbiton Bywater milestone location. So I might just go ahead and use that. Oh, let's see what's going on here. A little chitter chatter. Tellurian is talking about a possible bug in Festival Buddy. So they can talk about that before Tellurian can talk about that. Skagosi says, good evening to Little Redhead and B4. Good evening to you as well. Let's see. Kinesia says, hi. Servers that cost nothing and are located in Europe would be nice. Indeed. So just so you know, Kinesia, because I don't know, maybe you're new here. I can't remember. I don't work for SSG, so I have no influence whatsoever on where the servers are located or any other thing of that sort. Hey, I just noticed there's a pattern on the ground to these rocks. That's cool. It's like a flower here. What I noticed first was like this is a flower here with stuff around it. That's so cute. I hadn't noticed that before. It's kind of like it's overgrown a little bit. Okay, so we're going to send ourselves over to where these festivities are taking place. So I'm going to send myself to Hobbiton Bywater, to that milestone that I was talking about that I set. Because there's usually, most of the festivals have either something going on at the party tree or Hobbiton Bywater. There's usually something happening in this area of the game. So like Hobbiton down here, up at the hill where the party tree is, over here in Bywater. Like it's usually something going on around here for a festival. Not always. Some festivals, you know, they're different ones. For example, the Midsummer Festival takes place in Midsummer Minas Tirith, so that's a whole different location. But there's usually also something happening in, let's see, if I pull up the Harvest Math Festival, the guide here, you'll see how it's got kind of an introduction about it, and then it has the event locations. And it says, in the Shire, the party tree, in Breeland, the festival grounds, in Thorns Hall, the tavern at Thorns Hall, and in Ered Luin, the festival area of Duland. So that is kind of standard for all festivals I've noticed in the game. Regardless of what festival it is, they almost always have things going on in those 4 locations. It's either Duland or Kellendum for the elf part of Ered Luin. But pretty much you can count on that. And then the rest of the stuff will be at a primary location. And in this case, the primary locations are the Haunted Burrow, which is up the hill by the party tree. And that's where we're going to go. You can also do the horse races or pony races, as it were, for a Hobbit. And those 2 also often count towards festival activities if you are trying to do that. So this, the introduction here says, as summer draws to a close, the final crops of the year's harvest are ripe for enjoyment, which means that it's the perfect time for the Harvest Math Festival. Fall is considered by many to be the greatest of seasons, with the weather fair and the herbage shifting from uniform green to a vast array of autumn colors. I could agree with a bunch of that. Now, when it first came out, I guess, earlier days of LOTRO, it has like a different name depending on which of the 4 original races you are. So it's like Harvest Math to the men, Harvest Festival to the hobbits, and then it has like a different name for the elves, which starts with like an I, but basically sounds the same as Harvest. And and then what was it the dwarves call it? I can't remember what the dwarves call it. But yeah, so it's over on the wiki, on the LOTRO wiki, you have those 4 different things listed, which is kind of fun. Okay, so if I'm looking around here, oh, did I? Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So you'll notice when I come over here, there's this little entrance that's, if you ever click on it any other time of the year, it won't say it's available to you. But if you click on it now, it'll say, you know, that there's something going on there. But if you've done the Harvest Festival already with a previous character, you'll usually see there's like a whole gob ton of rings showing up around here. And you'll notice that I don't have that. That's because all of these characters that are hanging out here are participating in this Haunted Burrow area, which you get in through the door. So if I click on it, it says, well, it says it has been used too recently. But if I hover over it, It says the Haunted Burrow event must be active in order to enter. That is true, and it is right now. You must have completed the quest Bilbo's Letter. I have not done that with this character. Yeah, using that has no effect. So I have not yet done that with this character. So the only rings that are available to me right now are the following. Begonia Grub, she has a quest that is related to the festival, not related to the Haunted Burrow. Opal Goodbody, who you may interact with when you're doing the spoiled pies from Holly Hornblower, she has a quest that unlocks a series of quests that takes me up to Lobelia, basically, and that then allows us to get to that quest that allows us into the Haunted Burrow. So she's very important for us to be able to get inside and do the stuff in there. So before we do that, though, we'll take a quick look at who else is around here that has rings. Let's pop over to over here. So, you know, like a lot of times other festivals, you may have noticed that there's, you know, this banner thing and there's a little podium and there's often some other hobbits hanging about. So we've got Rosa Hornblower here, and she is our fall festival trader. So she does have a quest for us. And she also says, if you have festival tokens, you can exchange them with me for an Autumn Fest prize. So, oh yeah, somebody calls it Autumn Fest. Like, it's got so many different names. Maybe that's what the dwarves call it. Anyway, so a Fortune of Harvest Spirit. This is where we pick up our wrapper quests. So remember how in other festivals, there's usually like a daily quest of like, go and do 10 activities for this festival and then come back to me and I'll give you some tokens. So that's our girl here. Hi. We have, speaking of girls, there's a Kato. Bye. She's back down. So usually there's a daily wrapper, and then there's a do the daily wrapper so many days and then come back to me. And then there's usually another one that's like, oh, once you finish that wrapper over the wrapper, tell me and I'll give you some stuff. So those three then you usually pick up from one quest giver, and that is this person in this particular case, in this festival. So she says, complete a bountiful harvest, the intro. So this is the third one, the one that, you know, once you've done that second thing, come back and tell her. She's like, well, I say there's so much fun to be had around here, isn't there? I could go about from the first day until the very last and not get my fill of haunted burrows, hedge mazes, and treats or trickery. You feel the same, do you not? Well, do not be shy. Seize the season. Persistent effort reaps rich rewards, as I like to say. So, all right. If we finish this wrapper quest, we'll get a tracery token. We'll get a scrap of an essence reclamation scroll. We'll get some fall festival tokens, some figments of splendor, and a universal optional crafting ingredient. This is not the same as the ingredient we picked up earlier. This is a critical rating. It's an auto critical for crafting. All right, so we'll accept that. Then she has another one, a Spirited Harvest. This says participate in 10 Harvest Festival activities. So this is our daily wrapper. So we're going to grab that. And then that, you may have noticed, popped up something else, a remote quest that automatically comes to me. And that is complete a Spirited Harvest, which is the daily wrapper, 3 times. So now we have the 3 of those wrapper quests that we want to work on to help us get extra stuff, basically. You are goofy. You're acting goofy too. I wonder because of the weather changing. It's getting them all squirrely. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the 2 big wrapper quests and just keep the daily on. Actually, hang on. Let me remove all of my quests that are active there. I don't need those. Okay, now I want to keep the daily handy. The reason I'm grabbing this first is because some of the things we're going to do count towards this 10. And the other day I went ahead and ran a character through here, and I didn't do that. And I was like kind of sad because, you know, some of my quests could have been counting towards it, and I didn't do that. So, well. So checking my loot says, yeah, I don't like to do the Midsummer event. I avoid Midas Tirith like the plague. The game grinds to a halt where there's a lot of people around. I will say, though, checking my loots, that the Midsummer Minas Tirith is way better than like landscape Minas Tirith. So yeah, you might want to give it a try next year, next summer when it comes back around. And B4 points out that he's heard that it's a better experience now than previously, depending on your computer, depending on what machine you're running on. Yeah, I have found it has been better in recent years. So, oh yeah, so let's see. Lost Shire Hobbit has found that it is Harvest Festival for hobbits, Harvest Math for the men, Autumn Fest for the dwarves. There it is, and Harvest Math for Mareth for the elves, which comes out sounding very similar to Harvest Math. And Tillerian is asking before questions about the In League and the L Association. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this quest from Baldo Mudfoot here too, which is basically go do the horse races, the one in Bree and the one in the Shire. So I'm just going ahead and have that on me. Now we haven't even gotten to the Haunted Burrow yet, but we're still taking a look at all the people that are doing stuff around here. So let's pop over here. So remember I said those 4 different locations, you know, one for each of the original 4 races. So hobbits, dwarves, men, and elves. So each of them in this festival has a random, I don't know, random chance grab thing. So in this case, it's an apple tub for the hobbits, and excuse me, you've got like a games master standing nearby it. So like you click on the apple tub, and I got a large apple. So then I can take said large apple and nope, wrong one. Let's see, barter. With this guy, I can trade the apples that I get out of the apple tub and get tokens for it. The large apple is the best of the 3 things that I could find in here. So I could trade that with him and get 3 Fall Festival tokens. Sure, why not? They're bound, so I can't like give my apples to another one of my characters and have them stock up on these tokens. So you just do it with your character that you're on. Also, this has a timer, and so now I have a little effect underneath my name up there that says apple bobbing. It says you have recently bobbed for apples. Duration 1 hour. So in 59 minutes and 12 seconds, I can come back here and do it again if I wanted to. So if you're on for a while with a character or you're rotating through characters, you can pop back here and get a couple of tokens every hour. And if you have a hunter or a character with a bunch of milestones, that could be another thing you can do, is just pop from one location to the next and do these quick little grab a couple tokens things. It's not a quest, doesn't count towards the quests or anything. It's just extra tokens. Now, another thing that could happen is you'll notice the mushroom tent is up here and it's got a whole bunch of mushrooms coming out. And the lady out here, a true farmer knows he cannot rush time nor the seasons. If you're a farmer and you talk to her during the farmer's fair that just happened, that was the last festival, she gave you a little packet of mushrooms and a recipe, and you went and you plowed some spot in here and you put those mushrooms in the ground, and then she was like, hey, come back to me at the next festival and I'll see what I can do for you. So I did that with this character. This character is a farmer, and so I came here and I did that whole routine with her. Now it only works once, so I can't come and do it again next year, but you know, I'll grab my goodies. So she says, this is a quest called Harvesting the Crop. And she says, it has been a long season, but it looks as if your spores have finally grown. I took the liberty of tending to the field while you were away. I have been growing mushrooms of my own alongside the ones that you planted in the spring. Summer, technically, but it's okay. I've been trying to perfect my family's mushroom growing techniques for a number of years, but it seems that I was unsuccessful once again. But look at me going on. Patience is the virtue that I have been advocating to you, and now it seems that I am in need of it the most. Your mushrooms grew hearty and strong, and you should be well rewarded for your farming prowess. While I won't give up my family recipe just yet, please take this black mushroom transplant. You can place it in your own garden and tend to it there. Who knows, maybe you will find the secrets I have long been searching for. So we will accept her quest, and in talking to her, she then says, here are the black mushrooms that you planted in the spring. Do be careful with them. It would be a shame if you damage them. And we finished that. Oh, and we would level up, hurrah. And what she has given us is a housing item that is a black mushroom pot. It says, a pot of unique black mushrooms. It seems that a large amount of time and care was put into their growth. So this is a housing item that you then can place in your house. And every single one of your characters who's a farmer can come and do this with her. So like you can start a new character and make them a farmer just so you can get this thing. But you do have to do it over the 2 festivals then. So you plant the mushrooms the previous festival and then you harvest them this festival. Right, baby? That's right. So this is Kato, everybody who hasn't met the kitty cat yet. So, and Casper is on the couch over there, so I believe. Yeah, I think he's hiding behind stuff, but he's over there. Okay, so we've done a couple of things, and yet we still haven't done any quests for this event yet, right? So one more thing we're going to look at, and then we are going to work on, 2 more things we're going to look at, and then we'll work on doing something that'll actually get us into the Haunted Burrow. So this guy over here is a trickster, and he has a quest that we can do, and I believe this one does count for one of the 10. It says, the Fall Festival is my favorite time of year. One of our fondest traditions is the game of troves and trickery. If you wish to play, wander amongst the hobbits. Some will give you some clues as to the tricks they would like to see. If you perform them, then you perform them. If you succeed in pleasing them all, return here and I will reward you. What do you say to that? Oh, Casper was outside. Hey, buddy. Casper says meow to that. Sure. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this. Yay, Megan got a little mushroom thing from her. That's awesome. Sweet. Okay, so a couple things happened here. Uh-oh, cats are going to get into it behind me, I think. Hey, no fighting behind me, okay? Yeah, I'm talking to you. They start sniffing and then they start batting. You know how it is with cats. I have a 20-minute timer right now. So if I'm going to do this quest with this guy, I gotta get on it. I can't like pick it up and then just wander it around. Now he says, remember, all you need to do is mimic the words of the hobbits you speak with. They will give you a hint if they wish to play, and you should respond as best you can. Casper wandered off. Okay, cool. We'll go up to the top of the hill. Now I have Festival Buddy, the plugin, on, and so I think that's why that went ahead and popped up. So there are 4 hobbits. What do you mean requirements not met? Oh, interesting. On my character, I have the novice's mark on, and it's maximum level 15. So now it's saying I can't use that anymore. That's fine. I'll sell it away soon. Anyway, so there's 4 hobbits I gotta go find. They're in the area. In fact, they're in this orange area here. And each one of them wants me to do a different emote in their presence. So this person, this townsperson, has a blue ring over her head. She says, if you don't mind me saying, this is embarrassing. Well, your clothes around the back side, they're not quite fitting right. You might want to do something about that. And so so you have her selected, just like you're doing the dances. You have her selected, and I'm going to use the /pick emote, or I can use the little thing I've got here. So it says, you pick at your trousers, how uncouth. Oh, sorry, you pick an uncomfortable wedgie, but the hobbit is tickled by our trick. So that is 1. 1 out of the 4. All right, so we can go and find the other 3 real quick. We can go do that. So the other thing I was going to show you is that Bingo Boffin is around during this festival, and he has a set of quests that are special and unique and only available during this festival. So I tend to go through those with my characters, and they are available every year. So you can do the Bingo Boffin set of quests every year, which is really cool because at the end, it's like a series of quests and then has a final one. There's 2 of those, and the last one gives you like 30 tokens or something. It's pretty awesome. All right, so this person, if we look at him, he says, I'd better catch a fish soon. I've been here all day and I haven't seen so much as a fin. I would give anything to see a fish right now, any fish at all. I'm about to lose my temper. So let's throw a tantrum. So he is delighted by your trick. Cool. So now I'm gonna go not to the bounder, but we're going to walk over here, well, ride over here to this gazebo. And there's a lady, Hobbit lady, sitting here. She says, I'm so stuffed. I don't know what to do. I've had 5 meals in a row and a fair amount to drink as well. I'd love to eat more, but I'm not sure there's room. What should I do? We are gonna burp. She is delighted by your trick and follows suit. Now you can do these mounted if you wanted to. I just thought it'd be cute to show you what they look like when we do it with them. And then the last one, he's on the other side of the it's over by Sandy Man. Yeah, that's right. Does it show my map? It does have the circle a little smaller. So basically there's one up by the burrow. There's by Bag End. There's one over here we're about to go to. There's the guy fishing, and then the lady in the gazebo. So those are the 4 that we're looking for. This one's over here by the caravan. I missed him. He's right here. This farmer. Oh, Egg Arthur says the Frightened Tales questline only gives 24 tokens. I could have sworn it was 28 in past years. Okay, so 24 tokens. But still, that's a nice haul at the end. All right, so this farmer, he says, don't you just hate it when you see a creeping, crawling thing and then suddenly your skin crawls for the next hour? Why, that very thing happened to me. I just saw a spider and now I am shuddering all over. So we are going to shiver in concert with him, and he is tickled by our trick. So now it says I have completed the troves and trickery. My timer ends, which is nice. So I have as much time as I want to go back and turn this in, but we'll go turn it directly in. We won't take our time with that because I want to show you something. He has 2 different possible rewards for us, and there is one of these troves and trickeries person at each of those for each of the 4 races. So there's one up at Thorin's, there's one at the bottom at Erdluin. I think it's down in Calendum. Is it that one? Or maybe it's in Doolin. I rarely do that one. There's one in Bree, around Breetown, and then there's this one. So you can do this with each of the 4, and that also gives you more tokens. So if you're like just really jonesing for tokens, you can do all 4 of these in the 4 different locations, because with him, let's see, he says, this is splendid, terrific, wonderful. You have done such a good job, maybe too good of a job. I don't know how my tricks will ever top yours. And he says, so he has a Hobbit mask token that we can take from him, which allows us to get a Hobbit mask. I'll show you that in a second. Or we can take 3 Fall Festival tokens. I'm going to take the tokens. But if I had taken the mask token, I would go back over here to the apple bobber guy, barter, and you'll notice the thing at the bottom. So he's the one that'll take my apples and give me tokens. But if I had taken the Hobbit mask token, and then I happen to have a Fall Festival token, which I have 7, he would want 12, I could get from him the pumpkin Fall Festival mask, which looks like that. I find it a little weird and a little creepy. So I don't tend to go for the masks, but just so you are aware what that looks like in case you're curious. Each of the 4 has a different mask. So like the hobbits have one, the dwarves have a different one, and so forth. Yeah, Megan says the masks are almost too spooky. I agree with you. They're not my jam, so I don't tend to pick them up. But they do exist if you are somebody who would like to pick those up. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so let's go look at Bingo real quick, just so you know that he exists. And he is standing here. And when you talk to him, he has 2 different quests for you. One, it says 1, frightful tales to curl the hair on your toes, or 2, the curse of Eerie Acres. So you have the option of starting with either of those. They are the initial quest for the chain, for each one of the 2 chains. There's 2 chains. Hang on, I'm putting my sweater on. I'm feeling a little chilled. It is recommended that you do 1 first, the frightful tales to curl the hair on your toes, because there is some storyline involved. And if you finish through that, then the storyline picks up again with number 2, the curse of Eerie Acres. Oh, sorry, I probably bumped my microphone. Sorry about that. So just to have if you haven't done those before, I also suggest that you take SSG's advice and start with the first one, the Frightful Tales, to curl the hair on your toes. Hi, baby. Oh, does that mean it's get on my lap time? Or get under my lap? Here we go. I put a blanket on my lap, and she will then lay on my lap sometimes. So if I sit here with my legs crisscrossed, she can lay across my lap, but she's often on my arm. And so I'm like trying to do mouse stuff, and she's like sleeping with her head on my arm, on my wrist, which is a little less optimal for when I'm trying to like do things. But let me tuck everything in here. But then if I have a footstool under my desk, and so if I put my legs straight out and I have the blanket there, she can kind of make a little nest for herself and cuddle up there. So that's what she's doing. Okay, anyway, so we're not going to do bingo right now because I want to just focus on the other harvest math stuff. But just so you're aware, the second one of his things, The Curse of Eerie Acres, that storyline mainly takes place over in Westmead, and there is a pony here, that will take you to Westmead. It's like an instanced location in that you can't like ride over land to get to it, just like you can't do that with Frostbluff. Like Frostbluff exists, but you can't get there by just riding there, with your pony. You have to take a special pony to get there. So just as a heads up that of all those options. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our way into the Haunted Burrow. So we're going to do this quest. So this is what I was saying earlier when we first started, that if you want to get into that Haunted Burrow, right over there, I'm trying to get in. It says it won't let me in because I have not done the quest that is required. And that quest begins with Opal Goodbody. Before I do that, though, I forgot. I was going to come back over here to Begonia Grub. She has one quest that also is not related to the burrow, the Haunted Burrow. So she is the one that has a costumed quest for you. And she says, my friends and I do so love a good and frightening costume on the fall festival, you see. And we were sitting about trying to imagine how to get some others to join us in the fun. Then it came to me, the cleverest idea. We must put treats out upon the doormats of our houses. Then, and this is the important part, only those in costume may be allowed to have some. Yes, said my friends, but how will we persuade anyone to go about all the bother? And she said, well, don't you see it's plain as day, I said. We must help them along. And so we set to work, the three of us, and baked some treats, more treats than you can count, and fashioned some doormats just perfect for the occasion. You may have one if you like, but you must promise to lay it out and then go in for some treats and trickery yourself. That's what I'm calling it. Isn't it just the perfect name? Okay, so you pick it up from her, and then she's like, great, you will do it? Oh, how grand. If you haven't any costume, I have some old thing that you can put on as well. Here, go and tell your friends. What fun. So, accepting this quest, she's going to give us 5 festival tokens. She's going to give us a doormat in a box. This is how you get the doormats. She's going to give us a basic costume grab bag. There's 2 of them there. And then we get a title, The Welcoming. So that's really nice. So it's going to say, hey, you have a new title. What title do I have on right now? Do I have nothing? Oh, sure. Let's put a title on then. So now these 2 are kind of useful because she now has... let me go back for a second. So she gave me this box, this doormat in a box. So that's how you get those treat doormats. And it's a random chance of what's going to be in your box. You just open it and find out. So like if we go ahead and open this. Oh, hang on. I got to close that. We got a treats doormat, Apple Goblins. So, yeah, for costume wearers only, no trickery, no treats. So you have to be wearing a costume. So we could maybe do some of that later. But basically, I now have a doormat that I can put out at my house. And anybody in a costume is welcome to come and do trick-or-treating, treats and trickery at it. So then she has a daily quest that you can do, which is treats or trickery. And she says, are you ready? I hope big and little folks have laid out all the doormats that I gave them because I plan to put on my best costume and visit every one of them. Will you do the same? Why don't you go and put on a costume, gather some treats, and then come back and tell me all about it? So you have to collect 6 treats while in costume. And and that involves putting on a costume and then going to house to house to house and picking up treats off the doormats. So, you know, we're not gonna take her quest right now. We can come back to that. Oh, Egg Arthur asks if I know if there's a house on Mordor with all of the 8 treat mats in it. If not, you have one available. I haven't been paying attention at all. It's possible we do. Let's see. That's crates. I don't know. Actually, I haven't been paying any attention at all on Mordor. I'm looking at like the chat because a lot of times somebody in like world chat or trade or whatever will mention, you know, check out this neighborhood for all the treats. Like we do it on, we have it over on Treebeard. Yeah, don't see anybody advertising it at the moment. Let me see if I put anything in my LOTRO stuff. Although we wouldn't have had it yet. Yeah. I try to keep notes on that sort of thing. Oh, that's true. Megan says my kinship has a house that's all treats. I forgot about that. Sometime before the last year, I think it was, they changed things, and the doormats are now a furniture item as well as a doormat item, which means you can put them in your house or yard, maybe furniture, yeah, and just basically turn, like, we did that on Treebeard, I think, maybe. We did that on somewhere. Where did we do that? Or basically we just put 8 mats in a circle inside a house. It was a crazy idea, but then you didn't go house to house. I don't know. I didn't like it as much, actually. I found the riding from house to house kind of fun. It's a little silly. The other reason I kind of find it fun is because there's a timer. So when you pick up a treat, it has a 3-minute timer on that specific treat. So like you pick up some apple goblins and then you have to wait 3 minutes before you can pick up apple goblins again. Megan says, I decorated my house like a haunted house and added treats. You know what you could do is put them like around the house in different places and you have to go from, you know, like around the house. That might be kind of fun. Anyway, this guy over here, Mogo Brace Girdle, is a customer, is his title. He has all these different costumes that you can buy. Now, they cost LOTRO points, sorry, Mithril coins, excuse me. They cost Mithril coins. So they're a little expensive, but they are yours to keep. I'm pretty sure they're bound to character. Yes, okay. So when you buy it, make sure you're buying it on the character you want to own this costume. But then it becomes a skill, and you can do it anytime. So you put the costume on, and then you run around looking like that person, and it lasts for a while, a couple hours, I think. But if you get into combat, it takes it off, and or if you take any damage, I should say, it takes it off. And if you can, there's a button to take it off. So but the rest of the time you look like that character, which is hilarious. And what else was I going to say? I forgot what else I was going to say about it. But anyway, so there's various ones. So there's 2 new ones this year, which are the Guise, oh, there it is. The Guise of Galadriel, and that one costs 50 mithril. And the Guise of Battle Ready Galadriel, and that one costs 100 mithril. There's the Guise of the Goblin Corsair. That one's also new. Sorry, there's 3 technically that are new. And that one's 75. But you can also do Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Goldberry, Tom Bombadil. That one's 125, but it is kind of cool. Although now that we have the skipping emote, if you have that, then you could just dress up like Tom Bombadil. There's Durin the Sixth. There's Karazgar, Saruman, Gollum, Skorgrim, Dourhand, Sarah Oakhart, Amarthiel, Mordrith, or the Witch King of Angmar. The Witch King of Angmar is kind of cool. He's like all over the place. Funny thing is it scales a little bit to the size of your character. So like you could have a Sarah Oakheart that's a Hobbit, and you could have a Sarah Oakheart that's like a Bjorning, and they actually are like different sizes. It's really funny. You would have, so it's not exactly the size of you, but it's scaled more Hobbity or scaled more Race of Man. So the Galadriel, if you had two Galadriels standing next to each other, and one was a Hobbit character that would put on the costume, and one was like a Bjorning character that would put on the costume, yeah, one would be bigger than the other. It's pretty funny. Now, the other thing that you can get from this guy that does not cost that, two things you can get from it, actually. So you can buy more of those costume grab bags, the temporary costume. The temporary costumes last like an hour, maybe two, but once you take it off, it's gone. You can't put it back on. It's like I don't know, maybe it's made out of paper or something. As opposed to these other ones that you're buying from Mithril. The ones you buy from Mithril are permanent. You can take them off, put them back on over and over again. You can do that all the day long. So the basic grab bags, you can buy another set of 3 from him for 1 token. Or you could buy another doormat in a box for 24 tokens if you need more doormats for some reason. Okay, so that's all of that. I'm trying to see if anybody's got one of these costumes on, and I don't see anybody with a costume on right now. A lot of times when somebody puts a costume on, they kind of hang around and, do circles and be silly, so thought I'd just double check. All right, Opal, let's get this party started. So we're going to talk to Opal Goodbody, and she is going to begin us on the quest chain that will allow us to go into the Haunted Burrow. So we begin with a cellar door appears. And in case you don't want to watch all of this or you want to come back to this later, I do have a whole video as I think Megan was referring to earlier. On the LOTRO.com page, hang on, festival, Moobot, do that. Cool. Over the first link there, the LOTRO.com/guide/LOTRO Harvest Festival guide. At the bottom of that, Cordovan has some links, and one of those links is to my videos about this that I did, I don't know, like 5 years ago, but it's still the same. Sakanako says, hello. Sorry, I keep hearing a noise up on the roof, and it's so weird. And yeah, I thought it was just the cat being weird, but now I've been hearing it. So there's definitely something going on the roof. It's really interesting. Every so often it crackles, or it's, yeah. Anyway, so let's figure out what Opal Goodbody has for us here. She says, you'll never believe this. I decided a new oven was needed to begin preparations for the next festival. The laborers went to dig a pit in the side of the hill, and lo, we all heard a shovel scrape against some wood. And before I knew what happened, a door was dug out. The door is locked now, but I'll wager it's a forgotten cellar of Bag End. Bag End is just above it, you see. Do you think that's where Mad Baggins kept his treasures? I suppose we can only guess, for Lobelia owns Bag End now. If you think she'll be letting anyone else dig around for old Bilbo's treasure, then you go right ahead and ask her, be my guest. I won't be risking it, but it is terribly exciting all the same. So this says, talk to Lobelia Sackville Baggins at Bag End. Oh, thanks, Egg Arthur. Egg Arthur points out that Bull Roarer is up. I forgot to mention that was going to happen during my stream. I saw that on the launcher, so you may also see this on the launcher. That Bull Roarer is up right now from noon Eastern till I think 3 o'clock Eastern. And in preparation for they're going to try a different Nazgul instancing thing here for the Mordor and the Angmar servers. So if you want to participate in seeing how that new mechanic works, regardless of whether you play on Angmar or Mordor or not, you can go to the Bull Roarer test server and participate in checking out how that works. So let me get Moobot to give you some information. So Moobot there has provided a couple of links. 2 things you need to do. One is load the Bull Roarer launcher. It looks just like the regular launcher for LOTRO, but it actually has different tech behind it. So you'll need to make sure you have that. So if you don't have that, go and install that. That's one of the links. And then the other link is the information about what are they doing and how you can participate. Although you could just show up on Bull and do it. Okay, so Opal has sent us over to Lobelia. So let's go to Lobelia. Oh, and Kanakos was asking, I can't decide what class to main. I like almost all of them. Well, I mean, that seems like a good problem to have. All right, so we need to talk to Lobelia. And she says, a cellar door appears. And she says, are you here about that door as well? You listen here. That mad fool of a Baggins never said anything about a secret cellar, and neither did that awful nephew of his, Frodo. I could not be more angry. I've scoured the whole burrow and not found a thing that could be used as a key to a hidden larder. They meant all along to leave Bag End to me with none of its proper fixings. If you want to see so much as a doorknob inside that cellar, you must find me that key. That gardener down on Bagshot Row surely knows something, but he won't speak a word to me. You look like a big, ominous sort. I'm a little hobbit. You ought to wrangle the truth out of him. All right, so she sends us off to go talk to the gaffer. We can go talk to the gaffer. We don't mind talking to the gaffer. He's nice to talk to. We like talking to the gaffer. We'll go have a chat. Egg Arthur says they started the arena early over on Bulwer. No big. So if you are interested in go checking that out, now is a fantastic time to do that. My stream will be up on the, I'll have the recording up on YouTube, and it's also still here on Twitch on this channel. So you can always come back and watch it later if you want to go participate in Bull Roar, and it's too much to try and do both at the same time. All right, so the gaffer says, I'll wager Lobelia sent you to inquire after that new door going to the Baggins' lovely burrow. If you ask me, the whole affair smells of trouble. I tell my young ones, and I'll tell you too, best to mind your own matters, and no harm will come of it. But he now has a quest for us called Bilbo's Letter. He says, still here, are you? Well, I suppose if you are of an inquisitive nature, like Mr. Bilbo himself, I'll let you in on something he said to me afore he disappeared forever. Old Bilbo, he said, with a sparkle in his eye, that his adventure would continue on even after he was long gone. That was Mr. Baggins for you. Well, I'll not get in your way. Help yourself to look over his last letter for us, which my son Sam read to me. It has some peculiar instructions regarding that Sackville Baggins. So, we need to ask the gaffer for Bilbo's letter. You want to bring this letter to Lobelia, huh? Well, be my guest. It won't do a whit of good sitting here with me, you know. All right, so you have acquired Bilbo's parting letter. Bring Bilbo's letter to Lobelia, says the quest. So, let's go back up the hill. Back to Bag End. I keep trying to take a shortcut. Shortcuts make long delays. I should know this. So this is all just to get us into the Haunted Burrow. But we're getting close. We're getting closer. All right, Lobelia, what you got? So, she says, what is that envelope you have there? Give it here at once. I'm sure Bilbo meant for the successor of Bag End to have it, not that fool old gardener. Indeed, no, I don't believe he even knows how to read. I mean, she's true that he doesn't know how to read, but still, that doesn't mean he can't have letters. So, the objective is prod Lobelia for information. Oh, Megan says, I don't know why, but the Haunted Burrow always makes me a bit dizzy. I'm so bad at it. Well, let's see if we can help out a little bit today. But first, we have to continue talking to Lobelia. She says, I'm reading the letter. Leave me be. How is a hobbit to concentrate with annoying folk badgering them all day? It does not say anything about that cellar. I swear I shall, if it does not, I swear I shall be positively furious. So, Lobelia obviously wants to keep Bilbo's treasures all to herself. But it says, prod her for information. Okay. So, she says, don't pester me, I'm reading. That Bilbo sure knows how to prattle on about nothing. Lobelia continues reading greedily. She is very unhelpful. She says, shoo, if you don't leave me alone, I shall report you to the authorities. Lobelia shoos you away and continues reading. Well, we're not done with you yet. She says, what is this about a spoon? He left me the silver spoons. He says they are the key to the cellar. Finish. Now we have a quest called the Haunted Burrow. She says, oh my, what wonderful news. Apparently my spoons fit as keys into the keyhole in that burrow door down there. That old madman planned for me to have his treasure after all. Come, I'll go open the door and you will be able to help me carry out the treasure I find. Let's meet down at the party tree. Just give me a moment and I'll be down. All right, so we accept her quest. And, oh, it says, oh, at one point it said, Lobelia looks confused by the spoon reference. But then she figures it out. All right, so now we're to meet her down the hill at the door. So I just run down the hill this way. It says, talk to Lobelia inside the Haunted Burrow. So now I'm able to go inside because she's going to be inside. But notice the rings out here don't exist yet. So we haven't completed everything we need to do. So we got to go in and talk to her. We got to go find her. So we're inside the Haunted Burrow. And I have not been in here, so there's nothing on my map. But I will tell you from the perspective that we're standing at right now, basically it's like kind of a rectangle, but think of it as kind of like you come in and you have to choose left or right, and then it forks up from there. So if you start by thinking about it that way, that will help you get your bearings, at least in this main floor, the main cellar. So we've come in, and we can either go to the left or we can go to the right. Now, when I'm playing as a hunter, I will actually turn off my speedy feet because I hit the curves too fast. So that could be a way to help. You can also put yourself on walk when you're first starting this and figuring it out. So like, I'll just walk through here for a second. So remember how I was saying it's kind of like, you know, off to the side and then two arms. So we're going to go, well, in your perspective, we're going to do the right hand or the right arm. Ah. And as we start walking, we notice Lobelia crouching here. And she says, oh, I am livid. I've been tricked. This place is naught but a monster-filled, spook-ridden, crawly-infested hole in the ground. Bilbo tricked me into thinking there was anything worth my while in this abominable cellar. How I loathe him with all my heart. There is naught here but filth and corruption. I want nothing to do with this evil burrow. Do as you will with it and stay away from me. So then we get to talk to Opal Goodbody to discuss the fate of the Haunted Burrow. So Lobelia is not pleased with the cellar and has given you permission to explore it at your leisure. So the last of our quest here is to go talk to Opal and discuss the fate of the Haunted Burrow. So I'm just going to retrace my steps here and walk right back out. And there's the door. And I'll just walk right out the door. All right, let's talk to Opal. Hey, Opal. So the Haunted Burrow is the quest that we're on. And she said, did you hear? Lobelia is too scared to poke around. That means we can go treasure hunting. It's wonderful, just wonderful. I am sure many of these nosy onlookers will have a wonderful time exploring and making off with what treasure they find. It's terribly exciting, isn't it? And she gives us 3 Fall Festival tokens for our trouble. Oh, this is the deed tracker. There is a quest, which is what we just did. There is also a deed where you do one of each of the main quests inside there. So this is not what we did. We did not do the deed. We did the quest. So I'm going to click that and get that out of the way. Okay, so now if we look around, we notice that a number of people have rings that did not have them before. So they are ready for us to go in and do some stuff. Also, that counted as 6 festival activities so far. So we're well on our way with this character already in doing a bunch of festivals and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start with, we'll start with May Gamgee here. And the reason we'll start with her is the Haunted Burrow kind of has a path. So when you get in, there's some doors that are like false doors that basically just loop you back to the beginning where you started.
And then there's actual doors that take you to another room or take you to the next room or whatever, however you want to look at it. And so so there is a path that you can follow that takes you through basically every room in the Haunted Burrow. There's, excuse me, there's like kind of an order to it. And if I pull up Festival Buddy, yeah, okay, so I'm going to have Festival Buddy over here in the corner because I think we get a map. So we can have that up also at the same time. So first, let's go ahead and pick this quest up. It's called The Great Hobbit Rescue. And she says, oh, help, help. My friends and me, we thought we'd go have an adventure together and look for old Bilbo's treasure. But one by one, they disappeared, and suddenly I was all alone. I made it out safe, though, safe enough, but they're still inside. I can only imagine what a horrible nightmare they must be having in that burrow. Will you help find them and get them back safe? I'd be so grateful indeed. So now it has a couple things here of note. Only one Haunted Burrow quest may be underway at a time. So all of these rings that just showed up, we can only have one of them active at a time. So you can't pick up all the quests and then go and do them all at the same time. You got to do them one after another. And this is also a repeatable quest. So I can do this every day. So I go ahead and accept her quest. Now you'll notice like all this stuff just popped up on my Festival Buddy, which may be a little overwhelming if it's the first time, or maybe, you know, it doesn't make sense, but I don't know. Can you zoom in on it? Let's see. Oh, I can. Oh, that's Tanglecorn. That's interesting. That's kind of cool. I didn't know about that. So we'll just keep that up on the side, just in case we find that useful. But we're gonna go ahead and start walking around. Oh, okay. Apparently in the plugin options, I could make that window bigger. But we're going to just go ahead and start, and I'll show you. So like I said, we're in the main cellar, which is this one right here, which it's kind of a rectangle, but basically it has one arm going one way and the other arm going the other way. So we're going to start off by going this direction, and we'll go slow. So this is a false door. Don't do that one. This is an actual door, but we don't need that yet. So here's this bookshelf, and if you click on it, it opens like it just did there, and you can walk right through. So we're continuing up that side arm. This is not a door. Oh, that is a door. I can't remember if that's a false door or not. I just, I get to a point where it's just so rote, I just do it. But I do know that there's two doors right here. The one in front of you is a false door. The one beside you is the right door, is the correct one. But we're not going there yet. First we're going to do is the attic. So this is the order I do it in. I come in and I do the whole thing. So you can see on my map now, I've gone do, and I've just gone completely to the right. I haven't done anything on the left side yet. So, hey, sneakies, welcome. All right, so we'll go ahead and walk in. Now we are in the attic. And the attic is a square, or is it as a true rectangle. So let me walk in just a little bit. So it has a wall behind us that we came in through that door. It has walls to the left and the right, and then it has a wall at the end. There's a door on the right, and there's a door on the left. So you're like, well, what do I do? It's the one on the left. If you choose the door on the right, I think it just brings you right back in this door right here, which is kind of funny. So now you'll see that there are things on the floor. So like this box here on the floor is an effect. If I walk through that, I then am hit by the effect, which I believe is turning everything black. So a lot of times when I come in here, I will kind of go around these sorts of things. One cool thing though is if you are hit by an effect for the next like 5 seconds or something, you do not take effects from others. So like there's an effect over here which isn't on the floor, but it's those bats. So like if I didn't want to get hit by these bats, I could go through the darkness and then I wouldn't be getting hit by the bats. But anyway, so we're going to go over here to this scared hobbit sitting in the corner, and he says, Sniff, who might you be? I put on a black cloak to sneak around and frighten my friends, but I am afraid I am lost. Will you show me the way out? So you say, you just continue, and now you have found the hobbit, and theoretically they're following you, but they might not really be, whatever. Anyway, so we're going out this door right next to him, and that takes us back to where we literally just went in this door. So it brought us out the same door that we just came in, which is really funny. Okay, so now I'm going to walk, and if I were to retrace my steps completely, I would go straight back down there. There's that bookshelf that we started at. but I want to do my whole full pathing through here. So I'm going to go in through this door. So let me back up a little bit so you can kind of trace that again real quick. So I came out of the attic, and then I walked out here, and there's these two doors. There's one there and one here, and it's the one straight in front of me. So I'm going to go in straight in front of me. And now I'm in the cobwebbed wing. And that one, well, you can't see it yet, but it'll show up separately on the map up here. And the cobweb wing is the one kind of center top here. It's mostly a rectangle also. There's there's like a wall here, but there's a room behind it. So basically it's like, you know, you take a rectangle and like I've come in one part of it, but there's like a wall here. So if I were to go around it, I would end up on the other side of the wall. There's like a wall here. But there's like a couple of entrances so I can get through on one side or another. But really it's still just a big rectangle. All right, so there's some fun things that can attack, you know, some effects like that. Hit by a little spider, and now I've got like, you know, spider web goo. It makes me go slower. That's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna turn. So you can see on the map, I came in here, and now, or actually I think I came in facing the other way, but I'm working my way up the side wall, basically. Because here, you can see there's a hole through here, and there's a door, there's actually two doors there. And then there's also a wall and two doors there. But I'm looking for scared hobbits, right? So, and I know where to find another one up here. This room was probably the one that tripped me up the most in the beginning. Because basically, I mean, I started basically over there. Let me scoot forward a little more. So there's a wall there. On the other side of that wall is where you come in. So I've just walked up this wall along to here. There's a room there where you do something. There's a false wall there where you can do stuff. There's something on the other side of the wall that you need there. And there's something you need on the other side of the wall here. But yet I'm not going to any of that because I want to go talk to this hobbit. I'm just going to keep getting hit by these effects because I'm so small. Or so slow. Sneaky's asked, that's a nice plugin. Can you make that map bigger? Yes. Before was saying that, yeah, in the options, I can choose to make the map bigger. I can check on that here in a second. So he says, oh, I was sure this was the exit, that it was a left, then a right, then a left, then another left, then another left, and then another left, I believe. Oosh, you're interrupting. I'm trying to remember the way out. Now let me be. So he's just going to stand in this room and be confused. Well, that's okay. We'll just back out and let him be confused. Let's see. If I go into the options, maybe? Main window scaling, is it that one? Oh, I could do that. Is that what you were talking about before? Or was it different? Auto open map, map direction, change harvest map. I think maybe that's what he was talking about. The scaling. So I could make it bigger like that. It looks huge on my screen, but I'm seeing that you guys probably aren't seeing it as big as me. Yeah, I'll leave it like that for now if that's helpful. I can scoot this down so the words aren't there and scale it up a little bit bigger maybe. We'll try that. See how that is for you all following along at home. Okay, so we are in the cobweb wing, which is this one right here. So this one has like kind of the entrance down here, and then it like has 2 points at the top, which are where we are now. Whoops, I didn't mean to close that, sorry. So like the Hobbit is there and the doors are over there, so we'll do that. Let me pull that back open. Okay, so I want to go back to where, when we came in and I was like, hey, there's a couple of doors here. That's what I want to go to. So we're going to go there. Oh, deed bestowed. The Haunted Burrow. When I complete each one of these things once, it'll finish off that deed. So that's nice. Sneaky says, I tend to get lost in this maze. The plugin will help me. Definitely picking that one up. Good. Yeah, it's Festival Buddy 2 that B4 has been doing. So now I don't want to go out this door. I definitely want to go this one on the left. And you can kind of tell because it's the same one everybody else is running through. So, you know, there's that. Okay, I'm in the creeping wing. And there are no hobbits in this one. No lost hobbits in the creeping wing. So literally I just come in the door, angle to the left, and I leave. That one's easy. Now we're in the basement. So a couple of things you want to do in the basement. Well, you know what? We'll come back to that. I won't take us off track. So let's keep looking for the hobbits. Okay. The basement is another room that took me a while to get the hang of, but now I've got it. And basically, the basement is this one over here, the one on the furthest, above me here. And it is like basically, wall, like kind of staggered wall. So you kind of are like, that's, so if you just keep that in mind, that you're kind of making like a weird S kind of figure as you're running through here, that might help a little bit. So when I first come in, I'm confronted by a rack, a false wall. We're going to ignore that for the moment, though. I'm not going in there. All right, these little green things on the ground are kind of gross, but just keep going. So we're going to go over here where there's effects on the ground. But if we make like a full-on U-turn, we have found a hobbit. And she says, "A ghost! I saw a ghost! Do you think it was the old Took? I am so frightened. He was angry at me for eating his dinner while he wasn't looking one night. Do you think he has come back to haunt me? Oh, help! Pray don't ever be cross with me. I meant no harm." So she's all scared. It's a ghost! Okay. So, and it's a squirrel is what it is. All right, so we walk back out of here, and we're going to go to the left because we came from the right. We came from over there. So we're going to keep walking along. We got some barrels on our side here. And now we've come to a spot where we've got a whole bunch of options. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to keep doing this S, remember? So we're going to turn to our left and then angle a little bit and keep going. So we got barrels again on our right. Keep going. Remember, we're making an S. Because that just took us... Yeah, see, the walls don't show up on the map, but basically there it's like, is what we just did. The basement here, it's the purple line. So you want to go, yeah, oops, sorry. You probably have to do it a couple times to get it. But another thing is everybody else is doing the same thing, so you can just follow. Oh, one other thing while you're here, there's 2 doors here as you get towards the end. It's not the first one, it's the second one. It's the one that's almost to the end, to the very, very, very end. So now we are back in the main room. And we did the right arm, but now we're on the left side. This brings us in on the left-hand side. It brings us in this door right here. So we're going to find 3 more hobbits. So the first hobbit we're going to go look for, she's down here. So we're going to just go straight on. So we're kind of traversing the top of the L. It got dark. Just keep walking. Eventually you'll get out of it. So she is standing here. So I just kind of like took myself around the corner. So notice that I'm up here in this rectangle area. So I want to talk to her. And she said, I'm sorry, I was just having a bit of a look at some of Bilbo Baggins' old notes. What a curious imagination he had. Wouldn't it be terribly exciting if his wild stories were real? So she's, she's fine. No need to worry about her. She's doing great. She's going to sit there and read. So now I'm going to retrace my steps and go back. And again, remember we've got a little dark square that we walked over, so we walked over the corner of that and everything turned dark. But if you just keep on walking, eventually you come out of it. That's that room that the door we came popping out of. So now I want to go back towards the front of the Haunted Burrow. So I'm going to do this left side arm now. So I'm walking down here. Now I get to here and you can't go to the right, so I've got to go left. But hey, if I'm going to go left, look what I found, a scared hobbit. So I'm going to walk my way over to her. And she says, "Hello? Yes, I was here with May. And don't you be trying to shoo me out. I left the party because I saw a glittering at the end of a corridor and I thought it might be treasure. A pretty coin it was, too. Now leave me be. I'll not be leaving until I found a great hoard of treasure." Okay. So she's doing fine. She's looking for treasures. Okay, so I want to just reverse. So I came from there. I walked through this dark stuff, so I want to just keep on going. And we have a bookshelf because just like on the other side, you can actually pass through and look at it if you want to. There's a bookshelf. So there's a bookshelf over there to go walk through, and there's a bookshelf over here to walk through. So we're going to walk through the bookshelf. But before we get too far, doesn't show up on the map, does it? If I take a quick look over to my right, I notice there's a little alcove here. And it's another dock spot. So I'm going to just walk for a second until I get out of it. There we go. Over here, we've got like a space over there. We've got a door. We've got a door. And we've got a scared hobbit. So we really just want to go talk to the scared hobbit. He says, "Eek, go away. You don't scare me." So now we're back at practically at the beginning because the door we came in through was right here, right? So I just want to turn myself back around and go back to, so there's that bookshelf and the scared hobbit's just around the corner there. So we want to make our way back here, but we want to angle back towards the front of the house. So you kind of come out from where that guy was. I still got my arrow on him, and you come and make a U-turn. And now we are back at the front. So there's the front door, and we just walk right out. So hopefully by walking through it, that kind of helps show you, gives you a little bit slower paced way of seeing how to get around. She says, "Thank goodness they are all alive. I was so terribly worried. Maybe I will venture back in myself one day, someday. I would dearly like a peek at old Bilbo's hidden treasure." So you finish that now, and you're done with that one. And now we have completed the Great Hobbit Rescue, which is one of the quests you need for the deed. Ta-da! So let's go ahead and do a couple more. So I'm going to walk over here to Poppy Cotton. And the first time you talk to her, she has one quest. And that is a stroll through the Haunted Burrow. The second time you talk to her, she has a race through the Haunted Burrow, I believe it is, which is basically the exact same things we're about to do, but instead of like 20 minutes, which is this one, you get like 4 minutes. Trust me, it's doable. But first thing we're going to do is we'll do the one that she gives us. Because she starts off and says, "Hello. Hello there. I was brave enough to go to every corner of the haunted house and not run away. Are you? I went in on a dare and left proof that I visited. If you return to me with the proof, I'll know that you did the same. But there's a catch. You have twice the amount of time I took myself. You must get back to me quickly, or else it won't count. Are you ready?" Yes. So now I have a timer over here, and it says 20 minutes. So it says collect proof that you made it to the attic, proof that you made it to the basement, proof that you made it to the creeping wing, the cobweb wing, and get back before time runs out. So we're going to do the exact same path that we just did to rescue the hobbits. Walk through the bookshelf, go to the end, turn ziggity-zaggy off to the right, because that's where the attic is. And you can see it says attic. So now we've walked into the attic. And if we go straight ahead, you'll notice there's a thing there that says attic trophy. So we're going to stop and pick that up. And now we just walk out this door. And that was the attic. Okay, so remember we're going to zigzag, but we'll go straight. And that'll take us into the cobweb wing. And remember, this is one where you come in kind of funky at the door, and then we're going to get hit by a spider when we walk in. Kabam. Agartha says, "It's interesting that the reach-throughs for the Hobbit rescuing quest are slightly different than the Hobbit scaring quest." Yeah, and then also, oh, sorry, what am I working on? Oh, yeah, the proof. Okay, so there is a proof of what I'm looking for on the other side of this wall. I could show you how to get there, but it's really annoying. But I can tell you that if you click on it from here, you can reach it. So I do that. And then I don't have to go, well, I do get hit by the spider, but I don't have to go in and around. I like that the Hobbit scaring stuff that you do through the Ale Association is the same path that you do for rescuing the hobbits. I think that one's funny. All right, so in we go. And let's see this one. Oh, I need a proof from here, and it is on the other side of this wall. No, it's not. Sorry, wrong quest. Sorry, okay, so I came in from there. Let's do that again. So I came in from there, and I'm going to go straight like I'm going towards the door, but the trophy I need is behind the door. So I got to pick that up first. And then I go out the door. Chicken My Loot says hello. So now I need proof that I made it to the basement. So remember, we're going to make that big wacky S. So we're following that dwarf. So come to the end of the wall here, take the first turn. Got to zigzag a little bit. There we go. Go towards the end. But first we see that there's a basement trophy in this little alcove. So we're going to pop in here and grab that. And then we go ahead and we finish our S by going to the end. That pops us out the same place. Remember last time we went straight forward to go talk to that hobbit? We don't need to do that. We're just ready to go. So we're going to return to Poppy Cotton with proof of your expedition and get back before the time runs out. So what I do is I just keep walking when I go over those everything goes black things, because if you just stand there, I don't think it resolves. You just stand there in the dark forever. So you just keep walking and eventually you get out of the effect. So we're going to walk over here and we turn it into her. And she says, "Let me see what you have there. Well done indeed. You've definitely made good time, but still not as good as mine. Are you up for the more difficult challenge?" All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way for now, because I'm going to go ahead and do the shorter timed one. And I'm going to go ahead and run through. So I'm not going to walk, I'll run this time. So if you get a little vertigo, just look away. But I'm going to do the exact same path that I just did. So a race through the Haunted Burrow. It's the same thing. And she says, "So now I see that you are very brave, and that is quite well, but do you have the skills to be as nimble as myself? I made my way through the tricky burrow in just a hair of the time I gave you before. It was not easy, but I did it. If you can beat my time, I will be very impressed indeed. How quickly can you return to me? Are you ready to go?" So as soon as you're accepted, the time starts, and you have 4 minutes. So we're going to go. Time to go, go, go. So in, turn right, go down the right arm to the attic, grab the attic trophy, and out the door. Do a little quick zigzag, get us into the next one. Get hit by the spider. Oh, we didn't get hit by the spider. Yay. Run over, grab the trophy behind the wall. It's kind of like it's behind the bookcase, but it's actually in the other room. Get hit by this guy. It's okay. We got plenty of time. Out the door. Now we're in this one. And remember, this is the one where it's behind the door. So we grab that. And then we can scoot out. Now we're in the basement. So we're going to do our circuitous S-looking route. Stop for a moment, grab the trophy. And toward the end, and it's the last one. And now we want to go to the front, which is this direction. Zoom, zoom. And out the door. And we did that in like a minute and a half.
How do you do?
All right, so once you get the layout of it, you can actually run through pretty fast. But I understand that it's not simple when you first start. Okay, so the quest that we have left, and I'll pick something here. This guy, so you notice how like in the basement, for example, there were those little green spots on the floor. Each one of the zones has something that you're digging through to find something that he has lost. And so you have to find the right one, and you dig in it, gross things happen, but you find the thing he lost. So that's his deal. This guy over here, you may have noticed the tables with some bottles set out on them. There's 4 different tables throughout the burrow, and you must pick the correct potion. If you do, it gives you a buff. You get to go faster. You go through a different set of doors. You take a different route. So that's another quest that you can do. And let's see, this guy over here is probably the one that we'll do. Question from Testament Octoberba says, what do you receive by doing this event? You get festival tokens, and you can use those festival tokens and titles, you know, and the enjoyment of running through the Haunted Burrow. But you can trade those things in for various things. This year's theme is Masked Wisdom. So actually, let's see. I haven't spent a lot of time looking at the cosmetics for this one. So let's see. This one, boots, mask, robe. Okay, so it's kind of like an owl theme that they're going with. Not the backpack. Don't ignore the backpack. So we've got like an owl mask. That's not so bad. That's actually kind of cute. And then we've got some owl feathers going on here, stuff like that. Well, you know, that might look good with like the black wings. There's a lot of really good cosmetics in this festival. Let's see. Not steeds. Tunic, trousers, dresses, and outfits. Cloaks and back items. Let's look at it with the raven wings. That might be kind of cool, huh? Oh, we need something different for the shoulders, though. The shoulders look weird with this. I thought it gave me some shoulders. Hang on. Where's the new items? Oh, it was the mask. The robe, the mask, the boots. Yeah, so you'd probably want some different shoulder item to go with that. Anything good? That doesn't quite match. That one doesn't either. Well, that's not bad. Little feathers. That one's not right. But anyway, so yeah, so it's owl themed stuff this year. My favorite set, one of my favorite sets is that one that we're just looking at, the Autumn Sage. Let's see. Is that right? Yeah. Look, that one is really good. Ignore the shoulders there. Because it dyes up really, really well. And it comes in really nice to begin with, the black with the gold. But then you can just do so much with so many fun colors with that one. So that's a good one. The Autumn Traveler, these robes of the Autumn Traveler is also really cool, and it dyes really good. There's a lot of really good ones. Oh, the Dress of Anorian Autumn. It's very simple, dyes great, good for a lot of things. So anyway, there's a lot of really good cosmetics in this. Oh yeah, A. Arthur points out you get virtue experience as well. Year of the Birding. Oh, Megan, you're so smart. I hadn't even thought about that. Dirt. Yeah. The owls and the birding and all of that. That's really clever. Arthur points out you can also get figments, legendary item experience, gold tracery tokens if you do the whole chain. Yeah, there's lots of stuff you can get from the festival. Okay, so let's talk to Polo Puttyfoot here, sorry. So he has 3 different quests. There's the rattling in the Haunted Burrow, the roaring maw in the Haunted Burrow, and the wailing in the Haunted Burrow. So we're going to do each one of his. And then I might switch characters. We'll see. So I'm going to start at the top with the rattling. And he says, oh, mercy me, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I'll tell you anyways. I was in the Haunted Burrow searching for treasure, and I found a bit of chain in the attic. I thought perhaps a door would open on the ceiling, and I would find a larder full of riches, but no. A living, walking skeleton came toward me, rattling and clacking. It gave me such a fright, I ran away before I could even finish tugging on that chain. All right, so we have to find the source of the rattling in the attic. So this is easy. We just go in and go straight to the attic like we've done before, right? Easy peasy. So remember, we go in, turn right, and go up this arm, and do a little zigzag off to the right, go in the attic. So now we see the gold chain here. Now, that person was interacting with the Hobbit, so we kind of have to wait for the Hobbit. Sorry, I kind of gave the game away there. To run off. Now we can pull on the gold chain. Oh no, something is coming. He says, rattle, clack, I'm coming for you. So you click on him. He says, I'll haunt you forever, ha ha. But really, it's just a Hobbit in an outfit. So here, I'll just put myself on auto attack. No, that's not doing much. I forgot I'm low level. I'll actually hit him, I guess. All right, so you do some damage to him, and he says, ouch, hey, I'm not really a monster. Woohoo, you frightened me. And it says, it was only a hobbit playing a silly prank. So now our objective is to return to Polo Puddifoot with the news of the skeleton. Quote unquote skeleton. So we just go back out that same door like we normally do. And now instead of going through the door like we have and continuing on, I'm just going to retrace my steps completely back to the front door and just go straight out. Because I can, because I was on the main level there. So you come back and tell him, and he says, that evil wight was only a hobbit in disguise? Abominable behavior. Who was it? I shall give him a telling off that he'll not be forgetting any time soon. The gall of some folk, really. Aw, cute. So we'll go ahead and pick up the next one, which is the Roaring Maw in the Haunted Burrow. Well, he says, dear me, I only dared to go into the haunted cellar once to look for treasure, but all I did was get out as fast as I could. There were monsters everywhere. In one of the wings I was in, there were spider webs all over the place. But then I spotted a jar of honey. I love honey naturally, so of course I went right for it. But then I heard a bear. It made a deep roaring sound, and it was oh so close. Will you banish it from the burrow so it doesn't harm any of the innocent folk who have wandered in? So now we have to go find the source, of the roaring maw in the cobwebbed wing. Okay, so we're going to start off going to the side again like we did. But now I'm looking for the cobweb wing. That's not it. That's the creeping wing. Because remember when we came out of the attic from over there and we came forward and went through a door? It's this one. So it's just like the normal door. It's just we just don't bother to do the attic first. All right, so first we get hit by a spider. And then we continue on. Now remember how this one has like the two openings? So there's one there with the door that we're going out, and there's one over there with the Hobbit that we had to go find. But we're not doing either of those. I'm actually making a U-turn to the left, and that's what's going on over here. So there's the jar of honey, and you can see we're kind of like creating a line. So you kind of have to wait till the Hobbit disappears. There he is. Roar, slobber, slaver, drool. He says, aha, I'll get you. Oh no, I'm only a Hobbit. Don't hurt me. He looks like a little bear. So he runs off. So sometimes if you see other people doing this, try not to jump the line. You know, you can help them if they're having trouble, but you won't get credit. But sometimes it makes it go faster. So, all right, it was only a Hobbit playing a silly prank. Oh, I got a critical hit. Okay, so now you can run out of here if you want, which means unfortunately, there's no door out of here that takes you back to the main level. So you have to basically go from here through the creeping wing, through the basement, and then back out. What I usually do is just hit this button that says exit the Haunted Burrow. So when you go in, you have this button. It automatically shows up for you. It has a cooldown of 30 minutes. You might see that on there. And there's no way to reduce that cooldown, I don't think. But it says this enables you to quickly return to the entrance of the Haunted Burrow. So it's like a quick get out of jail free kind of, you know, it's a teleport that gets you out of the Haunted Burrow. It doesn't impact the quest that you're on at all. It's totally fine. You can just like zip yourself out of there. Hello again. So now I'm back outside by the door, and I can just run over to Polo and be like, hey, I found your guy. He says, did you drive off that hungry bear? You were brave to venture in there. He says, what? A hobbit? A hobbit playing a prank? I've never heard of such a naughty trick. I will be speaking to that lad's parents before the day is out. We finish with that. All right, there's one more though, right? There's the wailing in the Haunted Burrow. He says, oh my goodness, how I hate being frightened away from my business. I was in the Haunted Burrow looking for treasure, you see, and I saw a candle on the floor to help me see. I went to pick it up, and suddenly a ghost chased me away. Yes, a real ghost, hiding in the shadows. Don't look at me like that. I tell you it was real, and it was. If you don't believe me, go see for yourself. But you'd be wise to steer clear of the wing of the cellar where the spooks have got to, if you ask me. All right, so we'll go see something spooky. We'll go find the source of the wailing in the creeping wing. All right, so back to the right. Now we're looking for the creeping wing, not that one. This is the one we want. So that second door, like I was talking about before. We're in the creeping wing, and you can hear combat. So remember how we came in before, and like the token that we needed to look for was there, and the door we needed to look for was there, and we didn't do anything with any of the rest of this room? Now we'll go to the rest of the room, part of it. So instead of going off to the left, we're going to come in and go into the right, and another turn to the right, And now we see that candle that he mentioned. So click on the candle. Oh no, something is coming. Woo, be frightened. Brr, I'm a terrifying ghost. Run for your life. You'll never guess. He says, wow, don't hurt me. I'm only a hobbit. And then he runs off. All right, so now I'm in the creeping wing. And there's not a quick and easy way to get out of here. So I'm going to go back from where I came, which is the door was over here. And then there's the door to get out. So I just got to walk my way through the basement to get back to Polo. But hey, while we're doing that, let's take a little side tangent. So remember this barrel rack that we saw at the beginning? We didn't do anything with it. Well, we're going to open it up and go in. And here you find the poorly hidden chest. I opened the poorly hidden chest and I found 2 Fall Festival tokens, a spider leg, which is an effect I can use on somebody else, the cloak of the bear, which is a cosmetic, and a black silk glove, which is an effect I can use on somebody else. So I just found a whole bunch of stuff. Now the chest has come back, but if I click on it, it says you cannot do that right now. I now have an effect, and it says Secret Treasure dash chest. You have used the Secret Treasure chest recently. Duration 1 day. So it now is ticking away. I have 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 24 seconds before I can look in that box again with this character. So some people will just leave their alts standing here and pop in, open the box, and then alt to their next character, pop in, open the box, and every 24 hours they'll come in, like once a day, pop in here and do this. Okay, so we're just going to go right back out where we came. So we started here. This is how we got here. Oh, that's funny. It says main cellar. If I click on it, it is locked. Cannot go that way. So we're going to make our big S. So we're going to start here, go to the left, go to the end, make right, and to the end, and there's the door we want. Now, we're going to make another little side tangent. So remember how when normally we come through here and then we go this way and it takes us to the front of the burrow and we run out? Before we do that, we're going to go by, remember where that lady was that we were like looking for the hobbits? And she was right here. Well, you may have noticed there's a door over here. It says mystery door. So let's go check out the mystery. Well, look at this. It sure looks a bit like we're in a burrow. And in fact, we are. So you'll see it is very hobbity. And it really only has one path. So you just kind of follow the path. Boom, boom, boom. Here, I can put myself on walk even to make this more obvious. Now, there's a door here, another mystery door, but we don't want to click on that yet. Because when we get to the end, there's this room here, and there's 3 different boxes. So we will click on the out of place chest. And we got a Fall Festival token, the lockbox. We got a Fall Festival token, and the strongbox gives us also a Fall Festival token. So we can retrace our steps and go back out the way we came in, which will take us back to where that lady is. Or we can go out the mystery door. Gosh, I wonder where that takes us. We're in Bag End. And you can actually see the map at the top up on my screen there. And if we just want to leave Bag End, it's... Oh, wait. I think we just go right back out the door we just turned in. Yeah, this is the front of Bag End. Haha. It's a mystery. How did that work? And there's Lobelia. Hi. Okay, so I want to mount up. And I need to go turn this back into Polo Proudfoot, so pop back down to him. Hey, bud. And he says, did you run away when you saw the ghost as well? Do you mean to tell me it was a hobbit and not a ghost? What a terrible trick. I stubbed my toe when I ran away, and it was my big toe at that. It still smarts. All right, so those are the 3 quests that he has. They have a theme. It's cute. So I've actually done at least 10 festival quests, right, with this character. So I'm going to pop over here to Rosa, Hornblower, and go ahead and turn in my wrapper for the day. She says, "My, you do love the harvest. I hope you're having fun time at the Harvest Festival. For your efforts, you should have a reward, so here you are. Come back tomorrow, and I shall have more harvest rewards for you." So we just finished that, and we're done. Ta-da! Oh, yeah, if you want to see another example. Oh, they just ran off. But that was a Hobbit on the mount, and this is a probably High Elf. Yeah, High Elf on the mount. Excuse me, I don't know if you noticed, like, one was big and one was small. It's the same idea when you're doing the costumes. So that's a lot of fun. All right. I think what I'm going to do is... Oh, yeah, I should use these emotes. Let me see, is there anybody standing around? There's a person standing. So if I use the black silk glove on a person, they do that. They, like, faint. And what's the other one? I've got a spider leg. Oh, and it also starts a deed. If you do it 300 times, you get a permanent skill. I'm not, like, too worried about that. But you can buy the stuff from the... from our vendor. But if you don't want to do that, you can just keep acquiring them as you go through, because every day you go through and you open that one big chest, it'll give you more of these. So I can do the spider legs on this person, perhaps. And they go, oop, and it's like that. That's it. Hey, Kato, what you doing, baby? So now you can turn off the ability for those sorts of things to affect you if you don't want, you know, to be fainted and that sort of thing. You can change that if you want to. It's really up to you. Some of my characters, I get kind of tired of it, so I have turned it off, but most of my characters, I'm like, I don't care anymore. Just let it keep going. So let's see. Adamantia was level 15 when we started that. I think she's now, what, 16, maybe 17 from doing festival today. So it is, like I said earlier, it's a nice way to level your characters. So I figure I'll swap into, I think it was Rosenbloom that I was working on that I went ahead and did that quest with already. So I'll pop back in with Rose and we'll run through some festival quest items. But it is, I have been streaming for an hour and 50. So once I get swapped over, I'll probably do a couple of quests with her, but I might not do the whole 10 on stream. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's taking a minute to, I'm noticing that lately, that it seems like it's taking longer for my characters to log out, which is kind of annoying. I'm not sure what's changed. Now, one of the things that is going on that they know about in general is that the larger your character file basically is, then the longer it takes to save everything back, save all the file stuff. So like my characters that have done a lot of quests and a lot of deeds and, you know, have a lot of data involved, apparently that has to, like, it has to write it to the file before it can log me out. But these characters are pretty new and don't have that much, so I'm surprised it's having that trouble right now. So it makes me think that they're making some changes in the code, and it's, you know, having these effects. So there we go. Okay. So yeah, Adamantia got up to 16, so she got a level from all of that. So let's go in with Rosenbloom. Let's see, before says they might have said it, but starting a new client terminates the old connection immediately with no data loss on their end. So there's something else going on. Yeah, I don't know. I've just noticed that definitely on Mordor, I've noticed it's taking longer to switch between characters. I can't remember. It's taking longer to switch between characters if I've done anything with that character. Yeah, Megan, mine is like that too. Okay. So it's not just me having that right now. Yeah. Yes, Megan. Megan says sometimes Windows even gives me the pop-up that LOTRO isn't responding. I have been receiving that a lot more recently also. Which makes me think they've done some tweaks on something. They've made some changes. And because, you know, they're always trying to update things so that way there's less lag and whatnot. So I'm guessing it has something to do with that. And You know, eventually it'll change again. You know how it goes. Okay, so let's go ahead and yeah, I did start with this character. So let's go ahead and pick up our daily wrapper. So now I can do 10, I want to do 10 quests with her. Now, I'll point out there are 2 quests with her that are available that were not listed with my other character that we're just on. You'll notice the Ale Association guy here has a ring, and the In-League member also has a ring. So I'm going to start with the Ale Association guy. And he says, hey, have they spotted me yet? I don't think so. Good. They mustn't know the Ale Association is meddling, or else I fear there will be an all-out war between our 2 leagues. I've been sent on a mission to scout out what all the fuss is about at the party tree this autumn. It seems a new door is there, and I saw many hobbits go in and few come out. Leave it to hobbits to get lost underground. This is a capital opportunity for us to scare them silly. You should go find them and scare them in any way that you can think of. Now, that counts as one of the Burrow quests. So you notice all the other rings have gone away, so I can't do any of the other ones right now. But we'll start with him. And you may notice that it's a very similar route to the route we took when we were finding the hobbits. And in fact, it's the very same lost hobbits, but instead of finding them, we're going to kind of scare them a little bit. So I go over and I'm going to click on this bucket of tricks next to the scared hobbit. And that pops out and he's like, oh, save me. Boo. All right, so I'm going to continue on my route like usual. And we're going to go find the hobbit that was there on the second window after we get past the spider. All right, and there's a bucket of tricks here. And he says, a cave in, we're all going to die. And he thinks there's stuff caving in. All right, so we have played a trick on that guy. And then back over to here. There's no hobbits here still, so no worries there. Huh. Now I'm getting like some weird jaggedy stuff there. Did you notice that? It's odd. Oh, while we're here though, I'll go ahead and check on the box because, you know, why not? Now sometimes you end up with like a line of people. And I'll just go ahead and pop in. She doesn't seem to be doing it. Maybe she's alting. You do not have enough room. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. Oopsie. I gotta do something about my inventory here in a second. Oh, scare a hobbit. Scare a hobbit. Bucket of tricks here by the door. She says, eek! Because there goes the squirrel. She thinks it's, yeah, she thinks it's the old took. All right, so around the corner. To the end. I've been juggling my inventory all week. Yeah, I'm like, oopsie, I better fix that up. Bucket of tricks over here. Something pops out of this box and scares her. She says, oh, and she faints. All right, and then over to here. This one, bucket of tricks is here. Oops, I went too far. What we get is this guy coming out here. He says, ooh. And he walks over toward her and she says, eek, the ghost. And then he, I think, goes through the wall. No, he just keeps walking. Does he disappear? What's he doing? Does he go? Oh, yeah, and he just disappears there. Okay. And then the last one was around this corner. Bucket of tricks. And he says, eek, a ghost, help. All right, so now we're off to go tell Rathgeir of your hilarious escapades. So back out and back to the guy. But once we're outside, I'm going to consume all of those potions. I was waiting for a virtue experience weekend, and I think we just had one, and I missed it. But that's okay. Oh, he says, that is a delightful story. It's too bad that it has nothing to do with ale, but what can you do? There's a certain order of priorities when you join the Ale Association, you know. We want to take care of important matters first. Ale will always be there later. So it's going to give us increased reputation with the Ale Association, 900, decreased reputation with the Inn League of 500, and then, excuse me, also a badge of dishonor. So this is a great way to pick up those badges and to pick up some of the reputation with these guys, like just really quick, you know. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and just consume all these real quick, though. Okay. That will help give us some room. Oh, hey, and I've got a couple of trick or treaty thingies, so let me... There is a candle and mirror. It does one of those guys around it, and they put up a little surrender flag. So, okay. I guess we could go ahead and do the Inn League member. So she is like, what? Don't make me drop my wine. Oh, I drank it already? That's awfully disappointing. I was going to donate it to the Inn League for a rare tasting opportunity, but I seem to have gotten thirsty after all my running around in Bilbo's basement. How my head spins. It's downright impossible for me to fetch another bottle now, but I'm sure I saw more. I think it may be found anywhere, really, if you look around a bit. You ought to go fetch it. The Inn League will be very excited to have it, I'm sure. I'll just take a little nap while you're out and about. So we got to go in and collect the treasured wine. And I think it actually exists in like two or three different places in here. But the one that I know of is you go in, and instead of doing the right side like normal, we do the left side. Go through the bookshelf, ziggity zag to the left. And then as we're going towards the old lady Hobbit this way, instead of doing that, we turn, and Bilbo's wine is right here in this little alcove. Oh, I forgot to mention. So the chest in the basement has a 24-hour cooldown, but those 3 chests in the room that basically just give tokens most of the time, they have a 1-hour cooldown. So you can go back and do them periodically, just like the apple bobbing. So, all right, so I'm allowed to actually like open doors while I'm carrying this, which is so weird. Because it says don't drop the wine, but I haven't figured out how to drop the wine. Maybe if I click the bar or something. Because I'm just like literally carrying this bottle of wine. So, okay, so we walk over, and you have to kind of like almost stand on top of her to turn it in to her. But then she takes it, it comes out of your hands, and then you click on her. And she says, that was very well done. Getting that wine delivered safe is no easy trick. Do you mind if I have another glass before I give it over to the Inn League? And then she does the same thing as previous guy, but just the reverse. So we're going to get increased reputation with the Inn League of 900, a decrease of 500 with the Ale Association, and then a badge of taste instead of badge of dishonor. And that was enough reputation to level me up. Or not reputation, but experience, excuse me. Oh yeah, that's that thing I used. Oh yeah, do I have more of those? I think I did. Let's see. There's one. Oh, too far away. Let me scoot a little closer then. There we go. I like to try and use these things up as I get them, because, you know, then you have less to worry about. So when I was in here before, I did go ahead and start the Bingo Boffin one. So I'm currently on Frightful Tales to Curl the Hair on Your Toes. And the quest that he sent me on, he says, my cousin Priska has brought her children to visit, and we're all going to enjoy the sights and sounds of the Harvest Festival together. You simply must join us. I will not take no for an answer, and you know how stubborn boffins can be when we set our minds to it. Legendarily so. You can find my various cousins enjoying the games around the party tree. I would appreciate it if you would help them make the most of their time here, and later in the evening, we will all meet on the green fields to tell spooky stories. I can't wait. So I had a quest to talk to the mom, Priska, who's over there, and then I needed to go find one of her kids who is out here. Oh, how funny, I can't see him now. Well, right here, what this guy's interacting with are 2 hobbits. One of them is the hobbit that sleeps all the time. And the other one is a hobbit dressed up like a bear. And he's like, aren't I being so scary? And he's trying to be scary to wake up the sleeping hobbit guy, but it doesn't work. So they're right there. And then after you do that, I think you have to do that first, and then it opens up a couple of the other ones, of which you have the following. There's Esmeralda Boffin, and she wants you to go and get hobbits to try and dance, because there's like, everybody should dance. She thinks that's wonderful. So you go and you talk to some nervous hobbits. They're dotted around here. I guess I can't see them anymore, but you talk to some various hobbits, and they are like, oh, I couldn't possibly dance. Like, no, people will be looking at me, whatever. So that's kind of funny. Over here is Camellia, and this apple bobbing thing going on here, where you bob for apple and then you turn it in. Well, first Griffo didn't understand, so he like came over, started eating the apples. So you have to go down the hill by the mill and grab a tub of apples to help refill, and then you also have to pop over to the apple doors and get some apples to refill. And you got to make sure not to be seen by the potential bobbers, I think it is. So they turn up his eyes on your map. So that was one you also have to do. And then, was there another one? And then there's one I haven't done. We can go and do that one, which is Dinodas. So Dinodas Boffin, he says, Dinodas does not. He says, well, my mother said we were going to visit Cousin Bingo, which is fine, but there has been a most sudden and unexpected reversal. Imagine my surprise when she told me we were not going to Mickle Delving, but to Hobbiton instead, there to partake in the Hobbit Harvest Festival. He shakes his head. Now, I understand there's some good things about this festival that are worthwhile. Good crops, the promise of plenty, worth celebrating. I have no patience for all the rest of it. Spooks, haunts, and frights, silly rubbish, and nonsense. I told Celadine that same thing not 2 weeks ago. My mother says Cousin Bingo is set on us sharing spooky stories, so there's no getting out of it. While we wait, I might as well see what this haunted burrow they've got is all about. I'll meet you inside. So in order to do this quest that you can pick up without going into the haunted burrow, you do have to have access to the haunted burrow, so you have to do that stuff that we did earlier. Now we have like 5 different places. Let's look at that again. 4 different places that we need to have a conversation with him inside the haunted burrow. So you're going to be oh so surprised when you find out it's basically the same path as what we've been doing previously. So we go in, go to the right, go through the bookshelf, go to the right, go in the attic. And instead of running through the attic like we have been doing, we turn to our left, and there's Dinodas looking at like the wall. And he says most burrows do not have attics, being delved in the ground and not unnaturally elevated like the houses of some folk. But this one is no more frightening than I would expect of the usual sort. The paint is peeling, and I hear rats scuttling about, but it will take more than those small irritations to raise the hair on my toes, he says. Yeah, Egg Arthur does point out that, like, unlike those other repeatables that we've been doing, it is possible to do this quest in parallel with another quest. So I could be doing this while I am also, like, trying to rescue the scared hobbits, that sort of thing. That's true. I could have picked another one up while I was there. Okay, so we'll just do... Actually, that's a fair point. Maybe I'll just run back out real quick because I can... Because I'm still here at the beginning. I might go ahead and just grab another quest. You guys are advanced enough now to know, right? Right? Like, that's not going to be too confusing, I hope. All right, so since we're going to be passing by all these hobbits, we'll go rescue some hobbits too. That was funny. The Bjorning there was T-posing. All right, so we'll go back through the attic and go rescue that one hobbit that was in the corner also. And then we'll come back out into the cobweb wing. So through, rescue the hobbit, out the door, zigzag into the cobweb wing. So we want to find Dino and we want to find the scared hobbit. So luckily Dino is right in front of us. He says, will you look at this? Who could be convinced by this poor excuse for a spider? It's big, yes, I'll grant you that, but I can see the wire from which it hangs. This does not look like the spider silk at all. It looks like a fishing line at best and mere twine at worst. The webs are all right, I suppose, but this is not frightening at all. It's silly to think any hobbit would be scared of this wing. Do you think it's scary? Dino Das does not. All right, here's our scared hobbit. We'll grab him while we're here. So back to the entrance. Hey, I see we have 3 raiders from Jinjar. Welcome. Okay, so normally there's no hobbits in this one. We just keep on running, but Dino's here, so we'll say hi to him real quick. He says, let me ask you a question. Do you think these hobbits are trying to scare us because these glowing bottles could be filled with anything, which causes the imagination to run, but their illumination has another effect. It causes me to plainly see this crudely painted mask and know it for what it is, just a mask. Now, if it were darker in here, perhaps, I would think it was a real goblin, but not when I can see it so clearly. This is not frightening at all, he says. Do you think it's scary? Dino does not. Let's see, we've already gotten our box out of there. Let's go rescue our little hobbit from in here. Hello. Now, in the basement, Dino is right here. And he says, the basement is a little damp, but it's no more scary than others I have seen. Is this the best these hobbits can do? It is a little confusing to find the right path, but if you set your mind to it, you shouldn't have any trouble finding your way, though. It would need to be much darker and more maze-like to scare this hobbit, I'll tell you that. All right, and so now we're off to go find him back at the party tree, but I still have 3 more hobbits to find, so I'm going to work on that first. Hello, Jinjar, welcome. I saw that you are bringing a couple of raiders. That's awesome. All right, we are rescuing hobbits from the Haunted Burrow, and while Dino Das Buffin is telling us how not scared he is, that's quite true. He's not protesting too much, indeed. All right, and we have found our 6 hobbits, and we're on our way out the door. So we've got 2 quests now that we can turn in. So May, we turn that one in, and Dino, we turn that one in. Oh, and he says, that Haunted Burrow does not seem very haunted to me. It is all for show, and the whole thing strikes me as being very silly and not frightening at all. When my mother revealed that we were meeting Cousin Bingo at Hobbiton for the Harvest Festival and not at his home in Mickle Delving, I was very cross. But I have to admit that I very much enjoyed exploring the Haunted Burrow with you and revealing it as an unfrightening display. I thank you for that. I look forward to disproving with you the scary stories that Big Cousin Bingo has for us this evening. I will see you there. So that allows us to advance the Bingo quest line that's happening here at the party tree. So we'll go ahead and advance that to the next one. Frightening Tales. He says, how are my cousins finding the festival? Oh, excellent. It seems that they are all enjoying it in their own particular ways. But what's this? Young Dino does not frighten easily, does he? We'll have to do something about that. This is a season for spooks and a festival for fright. He is missing out a great deal of fun at this time of year if he does not allow himself to be scared. So okay, so that gets us to the quest, A Little Spooky Research. You have already agreed to join us on the green fields for the sharing of spooky stories, but now that I know Dino Das, believes himself to be above scaring, I fear my own stories might not be, well, frightening enough. I need to do more research. Can I ask you to make the trip to Tuck Burrow and to secure the assistance of Donamira Took, the librarian of the Great Smiles? She has an unrivaled understanding of the contents of the library, and she will certainly know where to find a tome or 2 with the scariest of Hobbit stories within. Find me suitably scary stories, and I will make 1 or 2 further arrangements, and we'll be ready for the telling of tales when it is dark enough. So I gotta go to the library. Let's see. Oh, Ginger says a couple of lurkers, I think. I have to take out my puck. BRB. All right, awesome. So let's see. Yeah, we're on that one. So we got to go to the library for him. And you know what? Since we're going to go down the hill, we might as well pick up this trickster thing and do that as well. So I'm just going to pop up here and get this started. And remember, she's the one that's the pick. So I love this little pop out. It's fantastic. Makes it so much easier. What I used to do is I would put the emotes like on my bar and have them that way. But I assume this is Festival Buddy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That little pop out just makes it like so much easier.
Before that predates any changes I made.
That predates, yeah, that's true. That predates, so that's from Festival Buddy 1, which predates B4, but it's still super handy, and I'm really glad that it's still a part of Festival Buddy 2. So we're just riding our way, Hobbit to Hobbit, doing our little tricks, a little tantrum, like we did earlier.
Now, what we're missing is when you click on a Hobbit, it could highlight the one that thinks is right.
Before is pointing out that it could potentially have an additional feature that when you click on the Hobbit, it would tell you which one it is you're supposed to do.
They're all called townsperson.
Oh, but the Hobbits, you'd have to do it by some sort of like a location. I don't even know if you could. So, no worries. So we've done all those little tricks, and so I'm just going to pop down to the library since we're like already halfway there. Oh, I'm going to grab that copper. Because it's right there. All right, and we'll head up the hill. Oops. You burp at townsperson. How rude. That's a good point. Well, okay, now wait a minute. That's funny. It says you pick an uncomfortable wedgie, but it doesn't say at the townsperson or anything like that. You look at farmer and shiver. You launch a violent tantrum at townsperson, and you burp at townsperson. So 2 of them are named townsperson for sure. All right, so I'm going into the library, and we're going to go talk to Donna Mira. And she says, you are looking for a book of scary stories. I cannot say that any come immediately to mind, for hobbits do not generally write down such things, though they do enjoy sharing them in person, especially in warm comfort with the dark of night safely beyond shuttered panes and far away. You're welcome to look for yourself. So we have a couple of bookshelves that we can look through here. There are no scary books in this bookcase. None of the books on this shelf seem very scary. None of the books on this shelf seem very scary. Let's look at this big one. There are no scary books on this bookcase. You find a tattered book that seems to contain frightful tales. Dum, dum, dum. Well, this is very curious. I do not believe I have ever seen this book before. The letters on the cover are very faded and most indistinct. I cannot read very much of the title, but the first word seems to be chill. I believe it promises chilling tales, and a cursory examine seems to bear out this presumption. Feel free to take it with you and bring it to Bingo Boffin for his perusal. May it increase his enjoyment of the Harvest Festival. I know he will see it return to me, eventually. So now I am a hunter, and I have set my campsite to the hill, which is where I need to go back to talk to Bingo and to the Took guy who's doing the tricks. So I just, bought myself back up here real quick. It's nice. Quick and convenient to get from the library back up to here. All right, Egbert. So we did his tricks and treats thing, troves and trickery, sorry. And I'm just going to take the tokens because I don't need the mask, thanks. And Bingo, a little spooky research. He says, this book looks perfect. Thank you. I shall spend some time becoming acquainted with the tales within, and it will be time to share spooky stories before you know it. So you finished that, and then his next piece is A Night for Ghost Stories. And he says, it's nearly time. Let me know when you are ready, and we will go to the green fields together. So you accept that, and when you take it, it says, are you ready? We will wait until it's properly dark and be off. And it says this is a solo quest and cannot be completed within a fellowship. And then it's a travel now. So I'm not going to do that right now because it's basically like 3 or 4 quests that it takes you through. And it's a good couple minutes. So I'm not going to do that right now because I am actually going to wrap it up And so I'll probably end up just doing that off stream, but you guys can do it yourselves. Because I think it's a fun series of quests as well. And it's really nice if you're a hunter, because then you can just bring yourself back. Because it sends you further out in the Shire. You end up in various other places. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up here for today for me. So if you have any last minute questions, put those into the chat. Let me grab my box of goodies. I was going to show you, so I'll pop over to the neighborhood real quick. Actually, I want to go to my premium house, I think. So we'll go there. And then I'll show you, oh, I've already picked up the quest though, I think. The lady who wants you to go trick-or-treating house to house, she is also found in all of the neighborhoods because you are trick-or-treating at houses, and that's where the houses are in neighborhoods. So you can also pick up the quest from her in the neighborhood and also turn it back into her in the neighborhood. So I believe, I haven't actually checked in Lindleby where is she located during the festival. Let's see, we've got our Wenda here, our furnishers, housing broker. Where is she? I thought she was in the premium neighborhoods, but you know, I haven't actually paid that close of attention before. It's possible she's not in the premium neighborhoods and I am mistaken. She's definitely in the regular neighborhoods though, so I can pop over to one of those real quick and just show you. All right, so while I'm doing that, and I'll start wrapping up here. So that was the festival. The Harvest Festival runs for like 3 weeks in total. So make sure if you've got, stuff you want to pick up, get all the cosmetics that you want, get all the goodies, as Arthur was talking about, all the various things that you can collect during the festival. Good for legendary items if you're on a server that's ironically not a legendary server that happens to be at that point, because like Mordor and Angmar, we don't have our legendary weapons yet. But you can get, some nice things for them for the future. What else? Yeah, so I will be doing festival for the next few weeks as it is going on. I'll just keep doing festival on stream. So if there's any particular part of the festival activities that you are struggling with, for example, if you do the troves and trickeries things in the different areas and you're having trouble finding stuff, I'll tell you what, Fibro Jedi has a fantastic guide for those sorts of things, and he usually has like a little picture and the coordinates so you know what you're looking for. So that's super helpful. There she is. So Begonia Grub, the promise of treats and trickery. And I have from her the treats or trickery quest still. So if I go and collect treats while in costume, then I come back to her and she'll be like, oh, tell me all about it. It's really cute. So you can pick up the quest from her in the neighborhood also, as well as turning it into her. So she's convenient in that regard. Megan says, very helpful. Thank you. You are welcome. Yeah, that's my goal, because I know some of the times some of this can be a little bit like, what, where am I going? Where am I supposed to be? So I try to share the knowledge that I have acquired. Okay, I'm really curious about that, like that space. Can I get up there? Okay, that's kind of cool. I wonder if you can put furniture and stuff on here. That's really awesome. I never knew that was there. Okay, that's kind of a cool house then. And plus, it's centrally located. This is like an awesome house. Dude, I like it. Anyway. Well, wandering off. Yeah, so we'll do the festival for the next couple weeks. So if there's anything specific in the festival you want to see during stream, definitely let me know. I'll just otherwise just keep running my characters through it because, there's plenty to get through, for all the different quests and whatnot, because I want to make sure I get enough tokens so I can buy all of the cosmetic items that I want. I want to make sure I get the dyes, because it's really important to buy enough dyes to last for 2 years. So I'll be doing that sort of stuff here on Mordor most likely. Don't know how many characters I'll actually run through the festival. Sometimes I try to run every character on a server through the festival, but I don't know that I'll have the time. It's already, I'm already a few days in, so it may be a bit late to run everybody through, but I might try and run a couple of them through. Maybe the two that we saw today. Oh, here's the thing for the Race of Man up at the festival grounds. It's a pumpkin patch. So you get a pumpkin, and then you can turn it into this Games Master for tokens. And then the Beaver Festival mask is the one that she has. So, wacky stuff. Anyway, all right, stick around because B4 is up next, and he will be working on plug-in stuff that's really handy and useful to use in LOTRO. So he'll be doing his stream plugging along coming up right here, right after me. So stick around for that. And thanks everybody for coming by. Hope you had a great time. I did. Remember to check out the Bull Roar server if you want to see any of that, of the new stuff about the Nazgul. I think that's going on for another half hour or so. Yes. Oh, yes. And as Ginger points out, this is the one where you do the troves and trickeries in Bree. So the quest giver for that is nearby. And you run around. There it is, Trickster over there. And they send you running around Breetown to do that. So one of those 4 different quests that we talked about earlier. So, all right. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you over on B4 stream. And remember, as always, to stay connected to that Hobbit side of your heart. All right. Bye, everybody.